What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Micah, back with another reading. Let's get into it. This reading is going to be about the mystics, the mystic worlds, and things like that. Before we get into it, I just ask that you guys clear your mind. Remember, this is a general reading. It could be for you, maybe the past, present, or future. Just try to think generalized as possible, right? Here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to clear the energy with a little bit of singing bowl. Alright, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to be pulling the general message of the day. What is your guys' message of the day? What is your word of the day, Spirit? Education, right? Ensure that you guys are constantly educating. Remember, your brain, your body, and your soul is like somebody that never gets full, right? It has this stomach in them that doesn't get full, and you can always continue to educate yourself, continue to inform yourself with messages. Anything that can be a positive enlightenment in your future, or anything that you can do today will affect your future tomorrow. So just ensure that you guys are constantly educating your guys selves, right? The reading, watching educational films, anything that's going to feed your mind in the appropriate way, anything you seek to become, right? Okay, so now next thing we're going to get into, of course, is the reading. All right, so again, like I said, just guys clear your guys' minds and just enjoy. Here we go. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about this reading. Also, give a like on the video if you enjoy it. If not, that's all right. But like I said, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. All right, Spirit, what do you have for us? Okay, so the first one I have is the sun. You might need to start sun gazing more, get out there in nature. As the sun does help with the plants, you guys know that the plants need sun to get I think it's vitamin D. I'm not sure which specific it is, but I know that it helps the sun rays and stuff like that. It helps nourish the plants. So we're also like a plant. So we need to get out there in the sun more. Spirit wants you guys to get out there in the sun more. If you guys do have a skin condition and things like that, you can even get out there in nature in general, right? You can stay in the shade. You don't necessarily have to be in the sun directly, but you can stand in the shade. You can just stand far from a distance, but just begin to appreciate what the sun and what the nature has to offer, right? So that's your first message. Appreciate nature. Okay, Spirit, what other messages do you have for us? So the second one we have, is Ace of Wands. And I'm seeing that you guys are starting to realize your powers, right? You guys are starting to realize your capabilities as far as like having the magic in hand. Everything is under your control, especially if you're an adult. You know what I mean? Once you realize that everything that you do from today on forward matters, you know what I mean? And it can affect your life, and you can take control of your life. Whatever decisions you make will have an effect. So let's just try to make the right decisions, and the best decisions and the best outcomes will happen. You know what I mean? We just gotta kind of put that foot forward to get things done, remain busy and things like that. You do hold the power. You do hold the wand. You are your own destiny. You determine who you become, right? Okay. All right, Spirit, what else you got for us? Alright, the next one we have is King of Cups. And as I said, you guys are now, see, in this photo, you have a man that has a kind of like a cup, like a world cup. Like, I don't know if you guys see like trophies, right? A trophy. And like I said before, when you have awakened your powers, right, and you start to realize that you have control of your life, you begin to reap the rewards, is what I'm picking up on. You begin to seek out the rewards that are meant for you, and the rewards that are earned from your hard work throughout your life, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Just want you guys to keep that in mind. All right, Spirit, what else should I have for us? So the next we have is what it looks to be a woman holding a lot of weight. And you guys might have like bargain issues, I wouldn't say, because, okay, so you ever have situations where you take on other people's problems and you take them to a point where you now sacrifice your own well-being, and you have to like carry those situations. Fortunately for you guys, if you guys done it in the past or if you're currently doing it right now, I don't know if there's situations where your family member or your brother or your sister had passed over and now you have their kids. But what I can say about taking on other people's problems when God requires is what I'm seeing with you guys is you guys are still remaining strong. You know what I mean? In this picture, there's not a woman that's on her stomach and it's got these stuff piled on top of it. It's actually somebody that's continuing walking her path, even though she's holding a lot of overweight. And typically, they say that the higher power doesn't give you nothing that you can't handle, but he also gives the toughest problems or the toughest missions to his strongest soldiers. But he doesn't give you nothing more that you can't handle. So even though times get tough and you guys feel overwhelmed and things like that, and you might even take on other people's problems and things like that, but you're still remaining strong, and because of this, you're still able to continue on with the fight. Right? Okay. Alright, so the next one I'm seeing somebody with a bowl, right? Somebody with some magical powers, right? You have to understand we all hold different positive and negative vibes in ourselves. Because in some cases, even though you're very much positive about a subject and things like that, we often can start to think negative of that subject as well, in a way where it's like negative thinking. Not necessarily negative to where it's like demonic negative, where it's like terrible, but it's to a point where maybe we start to second guess ourselves, and that can cause a negative outcome. Like for an example, say if you like something, you like to do something, right? And you're so passionate about doing whatever you like. You could be cooking, cleaning, or whatever, right? And you start to think like, am I doing it correctly? Because you want to do it correctly, right? You don't want to mess up, so you start to overthink, which can lead to procrastination, which can lead to not even getting the job done, which that has a negative outcome on your task at hand. If you don't get it done at all, then it's just, you know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to start looking deep into yourselves and start to realize the things that you're doing, the things that you enjoy doing, as long, hopefully, like I said, I always have to mention if it's something positive, because I see it in this type of world these days. You have people that say that they enjoy killing and you know what I'm saying, that I don't condone that. So I'm not gonna just say anything. I would assume it's something that's not harmful to others, right? When it comes down to something you enjoy doing, something that's going to bring peace, love, and joy to your life, I want you guys to not overthink about these type of things, because we often overthink about things, especially things that we are genuinely good at. Like I know for me, I used to, like, at first started off, now I stopped trying to focus on being too perfect as far as even readings or anything like that. But because I'm doing readings now and I enjoy it, I try to just be free. You know what I mean? I try not to overthink about how the video comes out and things like that. Because what happens is, if I overthink before I press record and I overthink about what I'm gonna say, things like that, I tend to procrastinate, which then I end up either not getting the video done or getting less videos than I wanted to get done, which in a sense affects my long-term goal. So just look within you guys selves to point out those key factors, right? Okay. All right, the next one we have is the Emperor. So I'm picking up that, either this could be both ways, right? This could be a male becoming more of a man, or a female seeking more of a man from an individual. In cases, you see, we have to understand that, well, I don't know if you guys realize, right? But when you guys ever see somebody working, it could be whatever they do, right? Whatever it is that they do, the more they do it, the better they are, right? The more somebody runs around the track, the better and the faster they become, and the more their title is like an athlete and things like that. And I want everybody to understand that just because somebody is a male doesn't mean they're a masculine male. See, it depends on the situation and what does the person do to be in a masculine, and what does it mean to be an emperor. See, an emperor, you have to be able to learn a lot of things as well as to be able to teach a lot of things. And I feel like that's pretty fine line takes place, right? So for my women out there, there's a lot of times where you get with somebody or you get with a significant fella and they don't seem as masculine as you thought they would be. Masculinity doesn't come from the size and things like that. It comes from the thought process on how they react to you, how they respond to you, are they protective, you know what I'm saying? What are their principles and morals like? And that is the whole key of an emperor and an empress and a king and a queen. They have morals and principles, things that they do, things that they wouldn't do. You know, so, and it's also about development, right? You got to think about an emperor and a king and a queen, all these higher powers. They take years to develop it. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, these traits are like passed on in a way. So it's very good quality when you step into presence. They have to act a certain way, be appropriately a certain way. And I want you guys to do the same, right? If you're seeking an emperor or empress or things like that, I want you guys to, it could be a relationship or it could be a friend or, you know what I'm saying, any type of title that you want this person in your life. I want you guys to represent yourselves to what you would like to be represented. There's no way that we can expect emperors and empresses and things like that in our lives if we don't act accordingly. We have to make sure that these other people, like these significant others, they understand our values, they understand our principles, our morals, and what we expect out of them. Once you guys put your foot down and say, this is what I expect out of you, because they can clearly see you're not BSing, then they would say, okay, you want me to do this, and then if they are the chosen one, they are the divine, the twin flame, all of these things, they will begin to manifest themselves naturally into the being that you are seeking. Because they love you, you know what I'm saying? And it's not about, see, and like I said, it's if they're a divine twin flame, meaning they're meant for you. If they're not meant for you, they just wouldn't manifest into it. It's like a magical thing. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like meeting the guy that don't know how to cook, and you're willing to teach him, and he's willing to learn. You see what I'm saying? So that's the mindset of it when it comes down to being an emperor, empresses, and things like that, right? All right, so now we have a box, right? I'm picking up on a box, right? I'm picking up on enclosure type of vibe. I don't know if you guys have ever felt enclosed before, or you guys ever felt boxed in, or you felt like there was no way out. And a lot of times our minds, you know, they can get to us that way. A lot of times we feel like we're trapped in an environment. We feel like, you know, we're stuck in one position. We feel like we're not moving anywhere. Sometimes it's slow pace. Sometimes life could move like molasses. Sometimes it could move like flash. You know, sometimes it could go by so quick. Time could go by so quick one day and so slow the next. And I feel like that's where the boxed in mentality comes from, because I feel like a lot of you guys' dreams and goals are taking so long that you feel like they're not even moving anywhere. But see, that's the trick of it. That's the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose of you feeling boxed in is to kind of be able to sit down and do a little bit more thinking, right? I know I've had them situations where the goals that I've set aside, I've had to do a lot more planning and, you know, kind of free my mind up a little bit. And I encourage you guys to do the same. I encourage you guys to free your mind up a little bit, not think so. When you feel boxed in, you feel like your life is not going as fast, or not even as fast, but it's not going where you want it to go. A lot of times we just have to take a step back and just kind of free our minds and not expect too much at one time. And then only then will we really feel free. You know what I mean? When you start to have them expectations of this time, I want this time done and that time done. Now, I understand with like graduating and you say that stuff's already planned out. But I'm talking about like dreams, like things you can't see, things that have not been written on the paper yet. You know, once you let go of the expectation and you just work hard every day at it, you want to be able to free your mind. So that's what I'm picking up on is an enclosed mind, and to be free is the freedom of the mind. A lot of times we're free physically, but we're trapped mentally, which is the worst. It's actually worse than being trapped physically and worse mentally, because mentally is the reason why we do things that we do. Our brain thinks of motion, thinks of things to do, and then we end up physically doing it. When you mentally think free, you end up moving freely. So for an example, if you guys mentally think that you're free, that you don't have no financial issues, or that you can, in a way direct your mind to thinking more bigger, like, okay, then what happens is your mind starts to think there's other avenues besides, what you're taught, 9 to 5, things like that. A 9 to 5 is a job that you don't want to go to. You go for money. It only becomes a 9 to 5 if you do it for the money. If you do something that you genuinely love and you get paid for it, it's not a 9 to 5. That's a lifetime career. You know what I mean? But a 9 to 5 is something you trade your time for money. That's what it is. Now, when it comes down to these 9 to 5s, if you typically don't know what you want, or you have something that you want but you're not mentally ready for it as of yet, you can free your mind to start to look at different avenues where, say you was used to growing up, getting low-end jobs. You can start to look at bigger things. What are new opportunities? There's so many opportunities out here, but if we think that this is only one way to go, then we typically only go down that one path, right? So I'm just picking up free your mind a little bit. Okay. Alright, so what I'm picking up on now is there's a woman blindfolded, and I'm feeling like there's a lot of swords surrounding her. But little do you know, you could be this individual that there's a lot of protection around you, even though there seems to be a lot of threats, right? A sword can be seen as a life-threatening thing if it's on the other party side. Like if somebody else has a sword and they want to attack you with it, it's considered life-threatening. But if you have the sword, it's considered protection. And obviously if you're blindfolded, you can't see your enemies or your friends in this case. You don't know if it's a protection or if it's life-threatening. And these can happen in many situations. But what I can say is there's spirits and ancestors that are protecting you to a point where even the people that feel like they're a threat to you is really going to reverse itself. Like, for an example, I don't know if you guys have a lot of fake friends or if you guys had fake friends in the past. Fake friends is like that exact example. You're supposed to be protective, but you're really a destructive to my life. But I have spirits that are going to catapult you into thin air. Like, you're going to be somebody you're pretending to protect, but you're trying to diminish my character, but really what's happening is spirits protecting me to a point where I'm going to use your own resources against yourself. Like if somebody else had a sword trying to kill me, my spirits will use them against themselves, right? I'll take that same spirit, that sword that you have, and because that's what happens. See, that's the beautiful thing about the universe, is a boomerang effect. When you put energies out, you receive those same energies back. So fear not if you have situations, or you had situations where people was talking bad about you, because what happens is you're like, oh, I'm just trying to live life. I don't know why people's talking about me. But what happens is those people that talk bad about you end up receiving bad back. You keep doing you. You know what I'm saying? Keep enlightening, because remember, the universe is a boomerang effect. And if you decide to, you're not wrong with throwing a little back, but I mean, if you was to move in the dark light or react in a dark way, that's going to come back to you. So we just want to ensure that we use our resources, such as our ancestors and our higher power, to protect us from things that are trying to destroy us, right? As swords or weapons. They're trying to come at us. We're going to reverse it, and we're going to send back the descender, right? So that's going to conclude you guys reading today. Hopefully you confirmed anything that you guys have been thinking about, any thing of that. But what I can say is, I will continue to. You can continue to watch these videos. I have a bunch of other videos if this one doesn't resonate with you guys, but hopefully it did. Like I said, the word of the day is education, so ensure confirmation. So ensure that you guys are being educated on many and everything, right? Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this reading. Hopefully it confirmed anything that you've been going through. Hopefully I helped a little bit. If it did, give a like on this video, comment anything that you wish to comment. Subscribe if you're new. I do request that you guys comment any wisdom quotes, because I would love to hear some of you guys' favorite wisdom quotes in the comment section. Subscribe if you're new, and also hit the post notifications if you want to see exactly when I jump in a video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next reading.